Welcome back, Citonomics. Welcome, Sisla and Daya. I think actually this is the first time that we're doing an OmniFlix only episode, right? I think Sisla, you've been on once to join us for Splitting Atom and share a little bit about your Cosmos journey. But today it's a very nice opportunity for everybody, and there's over 30 people already tuned in. So everybody, please make sure to share the link to this live stream with all Cosmonauts on Twitter, Telegram, Signal, wherever you are, because we have another chain that has major updates. Also, FlixDrop, a new airdrop that is going to be launched in 9 days. So April 20 is the token launch. We're going to be talking about that. But yeah, first of all, I think it would be cool, Sisla or Daya, I don't know who wants to start. If you guys can share a little bit about the journey so far for OmniFlix, everybody that's maybe new to it. Mainnet is already live since over a year, so February 2022, Mainnet went live. So maybe share a little bit of the key milestones since then, and what type of products are already live on OmniFlix today, and then what's happening next week, just a 360 overview.
Sure. Firstly, thank you, Cito, for having us here. This is our second time, by the way. We did a stream
together. I believe 3 of us did. I was there.
So that's the third time then for you on the channel. There we go.
That's right. And it has been a year since we last talked, and also since our mainnet launch on February 22nd, 2022. And, that was when the blockchain launched, or that is how that is the technical launch, as you know, that's how we call it. And if that is the technical launch, we had the blockchain running, a relayer setup infrastructure, all in place. Thanks to all of our node hosts, that went ahead and, launched the blockchain. And this was without the token, without the details about the token as well, right? Of course, there were base stats that were released, but definitely, thanks to our node hosts, and of course, Cito, you're one of them as well. And our node hosts have been extremely, I'll say beautiful in the way that they went ahead and participated in the ecosystem, contributed and supported us. There was not really any pressure for us to go live with the token and economic release. And in hindsight, we do not know, but that wouldn't have been great for the network as well, considering the entire market. But yeah, of course, we weren't waiting for the market. We went ahead with our technical launch. And since then, if that happened on February 22nd, we had our apps that went live, on March 1st. And since then, we've had over 255K NFTs minted, about $1 million in trading volume in Atom, Juno, Huawei, Osmo, and Egedi as well, the most recent one. And these were the tokens that were being used for NFT trading, NFT collection, listing, and auctions. Whereas the fee grant module was used to pay gas for people that were interacting with the blockchain. So again, the blockchain launch, but not the token. And up until now, we've been utilizing what is the fee grant module, or for the Ethereum folks, it is now called account abstraction. But that has been something that Cosmos already had in 2021, on December 15th, or in December 2021 with the Vega update. And it was like a quick research that we went ahead with and decided to plan the launch of the blockchain. And again, as I was letting you know, we had the NFT trading volume, multiple token support, over 180 creators, 210 plus collections. And all of this was primarily, from within the Cosmos ecosystem, and from the Terra ecosystem, from the Tezos ecosystem. And we have creators and communities from multiple ecosystems coming together to utilize OmniFlix. So 13 months, quite a lot of partnerships as well, Cosmoverse being one of them. We started off with,
And by the way, I just looked it up. We did a live stream indeed with Daya. So Daya Sisla, this is actually round 2 then, OmniFlix. We did the last live stream March 1st, 2022. Yeah. So
that was the day we launched.
A year and a month ago. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Long, I believe,
That's wild. But you see, guys, that's that's why you need to subscribe to this channel, because here you get the latest alpha all the time, right? Yet another proof for that. But can you share a little bit? I mean, the chain is now live for a year. You guys, and I see already comments, people are very active, they're very hyped. Obviously, you know, we can talk about this later also, you know, what you guys have done for Cosmoverse, but we've been part of the FLIX fam now for a long time. So what are your top learnings, I would say, over the past years, being part of Cosmos, having built that chain, and especially the last year in this brutal bear market, 2022, like, what were some of the learnings? Did anything change? Did you change the direction? Did you implement anything that you didn't think of before, or how was that for you?
Like, I mean, I'll keep it personal because I will have like different opinions here. The thing is that, personally, like we started off building and we identified, I'll say alternate revenue streams to be able to bootstrap the network. That was something the Cosmos ecosystem, enabled us achieve. This was primarily be it working with multiple projects, be it working on, projects, as service contracts, be it grants, be it validators, be it validator as a service, all of these. And that helped us be better builders. And when we built the OmniFlix network, the OmniFlix Hub blockchain, we utilized all this experience to be able to build it. And that was one of the reasons why, as a team, the FLIX crew, like kudos to the FLIX crew, they do an amazing job at making sure like things are done. It might not be the smartest way, it might not be the best way, most efficient way, but things are done. And this is what we've always prioritized. And earlier we were like this, but in a Web3 context, Web3 native context, it was not possible. And what I mean by that is, without a token, you cannot have incentives aligned, right? You cannot have like a lot of things like aligned. You don't have that speculation going on for you. There's nothing for someone to bet. There's no financial instrument. But there was this possibility for us to launch the tech. And the fee grant module, like I keep insisting on that, because that is something that enabled us launch in the most unique way. There are very few chains that launched the technology first completely and then went ahead with the token. And even if the token were live, it wasn't like really accessible, and it was probably in a centralized manner. But like with us, of course, the tokens were not accessible, but all the creators, people that were utilizing the infra, they went ahead, utilized the fee grant module to pay their fees, right? So the onboarding issue was like solved. No one needed to know how to like maybe get FLIX and so on and so forth. All they need to do was like press a button, they get access, and gasless minting and or subsidized minting and so on and so forth. Same thing with collectors. So this helped people explore the ecosystem, just like how the Osmosis zero fee zero fee feature helped Osmosis bootstrap initially and helped other IBC network like tokens come down, and without the use of Osmo, they were able to transact on Osmo and create value. This is exactly what happened with OmniFlix. And all of this was part of our learning. Like, we were moving fast, but sometimes we did not have the tech to implement. 2021 Cosmoverse is an example, right? That was when like we were able to like go ahead with NFTs. Like, there was a lot that was possible, but the OmniFlix mainnet was not there. But 2022, it was completely different. And moving fast, and the ways in which we can collaborate, both from a technology and non-technical standpoint, are some things that we learned and utilized all the way. Yeah.
I'll add a couple of points here. Like, so since 2016, right? So we used to work in a media org, in different capacities, where Abhishek used to assist me as a managerial position and used to take care of a couple of divisions, at least 2-3 divisions, where we used to move a lot of content, right? So we digitized, moved. There we learned a lot, where we made sure that while doing all of this, we were almost missing all of this happening in the background, and we were just discussing technology. Otherwise, probably we didn't buy. If someone's asked me, did you buy Bitcoin? No, we didn't buy a Bitcoin. But we were discussing about side chains. We were discussing about blockstreams innovation. That that those were the first initial days of discussions of side chains and things like this. There wasn't no word of L1, L2, so things like this. But when we exited in 2016 from the company that we worked with, we have started working in blockchain, and we definitely worked with Ethereum first to start with. We built contracts, and then while working with this network, we faced certain issues, because contracts work in a different way when it comes to interacting with OS level or native interactions as such when it comes to OS. So we needed certain integrations with OS to do certain measurements. That's when we realized that Cosmos SDK and Tendermint ABCI application blockchain interface is something that we were looking for, and that's when we started exploring Tendermint and the first versions of Cosmos SDK to see how things happen. We pretty much fell in love because the way the typecasting, the way the everything works around building modules on top of Cosmos has definitely it has been easy and at the same time very convenient because it is very well abstracted. When it is very well abstracted, it is only easy and it is very convenient in such a way. This made sure that we don't need contracts and other things that required creators or any other users that's integrating or participating in the network. So this single thing made sure that the things that we wanted to do, because we were working with creators. Creators don't want to learn language and they don't know much of how things work behind the computer. So we were majorly rooting on making sure it is very convenient and at the same time easy to use. So I think we did up to an extent we did justice to that. What how we idealized or wanted to go ahead. The same thing is Figure, the same thing as you could see, right, most of the networks go launch their token and then launch their utility. That's what has been seen in 2018. We've been there in 2018 while triple digit $1 million networks were launching and everything was happening, and we were like, yeah, it's good, but we were always rooting for utility more than just speculating value or be on the other side like being trading or moving things. So doing all of these couple of things we kind of came across while doing testnet was like we went ahead to test the Cosmos SDK's capabilities. It was an unintentional at the same time intentional because we wanted to see how it acts. So we went ahead and accepted 1,000 validated node forms, and out of which we got 900 plus people made sure to submit TedX, and out of which 750 people literally ran node, and it ran very successful that everyone in Cosmos ecosystem, like including Zaki, Jack, we were in talks with them. They were like closely working with us to reduce the latency, make sure we increase the params where it's required to make sure that it scales. But otherwise, the time was somewhere around 50-60 seconds. Considering 700 nodes, I think that's pretty phenomenal. But otherwise, yeah, that's a test. But yeah, doing all of these, we have made sure to learn a lot, and at the same time, we're applying it, and you could see that StreamSwap is something that we've been working on since a year, and we wanted to go in a different way. I wouldn't say different way. We had restraints or constraints, I would say. Capital or things like this, which are required to go to a centralized exchange or an LP pool, or things like this require a lot of capital. But we were focused on morely on the community-centric approach. Hence, we didn't raise much as well. As you could see right in the tokenomics, we only raised around 750 USD, that too from family and friends. So yeah, it has been a phenomenal journey to summarize, and it has been a very exciting because we were there since day one of Cosmos, and day one of Osmosis, day one of Juno, day one of Akash, day one of many networks. And yeah, talking to all of these, it's like almost like a validator family. And Cosmoverse was one thing where we met everyone for the first time, but we worked almost like for a very long time even prior to Cosmoverse. So feels good to be here, and pretty vibe, pretty positive vibes, good people, and things are very amazing.
Yeah, I think like on a technical level, you guys are probably one of the most underrated teams in Cosmos. And like I remember like in the big, what you explained, and also like how you guys stress tested Tendermint. I think you guys are doing things that most teams are, I don't know, they don't want to take the time. They want to go to market fast, and I think that's also fair, right? You also have to time your launch in crypto when certain narratives are on, right? Otherwise, you might miss out to onboard your initial user base, for example. But I think you did the right thing here. Also, like waiting throughout that bear market, really doubling down on the tech, and also observing and learning from other chains, as you described, right? Like I remember, like I think when I joined Cosmos early 2021, I think Sisla. I think Rob was still working with you guys, or a big advocate at least. So I remember you were actually one of the first ones that I ever talked to in Cosmos, and that's now 2 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But so on a technical level, I think there's a lot of things that are very interesting. But can you share a little bit more on a product level? You mentioned that OmniFlix is the platform for creators, right? If you go now, there's also an NFT marketplace where actually I also launched Cito badges a year ago, which I still want to do cool things, but right now it's I think everybody still has PTSD when it comes to anything with crypto NFTs or whatever. So when the time is right, I think we can also do some cool things there. But talk to like from a functionality utility perspective, especially for creators. Why would any creator do anything on OmniFlix? Maybe you can share a little bit about the product vision.
Sure.
Should I share?
Share.
Should I click on it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but before that, like I'll just explain the details around the around the vision, like you asked, right? So we, as Daya mentioned, we started off in the Web2 world with media. We understood like the business, finance, and legal aspects around media more than the creative side of things. And once that, and we were all, we were always involved in the technology aspects around media. So putting all these together, a natural evolution felt that using a DLT for IP management is the way to go. And this was an idea that we had like quite a long time ago, around 2014, 15. That was when the DLT concept, the side chains, all of these were being discussed as well. If that was the idea, then we of course got into like Web3, Ethereum ecosystem, explored multiple chains, then Cosmos, then the validator, then Game of Stakes and everything else, Cosmos Hub, Mainnet, IrisNet, then Game of Zones, right? So Game of Zones was when we first prototyped the vision of what is OmniFlix, right? And it doesn't exist in its state like that even today. We're still in the process of building that. But during that 2-month period, we were able to build what is like Chain A and mint an asset, NFT on Chain A, listed on a marketplace on Chain B, and license that. And once you license it, you should be able to utilize that licensed asset in a live stream where not only you, but multiple others can utilize their NFTs to curate. And people could buy ad slots again as NFTs. So all of this, the communication between both chains, the asset licensing part, the distribution, the monetization, all of this was like concisely presented in about 25 transactions. And that was when we won what is the best custom zone award among 600 participants and 200 teams. So that is the vision of OmniFlix. So if you ask me in like 3 simple words, manage, distribute, and monetize. And what are we doing here? We are managing assets. We are making sure they're distributed the right way, and then monetization. We already do this in a Web2 sense, where we work with studios, record labels, digital media production houses, agencies, talent management firms. This is what we do in a Web2 sense, right? We are utilizing Web2 tech to be able to help them, provide digital solutions. That is like one way in which we enable people, utilize the infrastructure and solve that problem. But that is in a Web2 sense. How is it even helping OmniFlix? That is like one toggle away from being put up on the blockchain. It is that ready. It's just that we chose not to do that right now. It doesn't make sense to do it with the current state of OmniFlix. And for that reason, we built what is the infrastructure for NFT minting or tokenization, right? Asset tokenization. Then the marketplace, where the tokenized assets need to be traded. Now, then we have what is the distribution aspect. And, this is where the marketplace will also then enable, right now you have what is a buy button. You should also see what is like a license button, where you should be able to permissionlessly license and, take it forward in the right way. So we're not fully ready. We are not, fully there yet. But we believe that once this infrastructure is ready, this is a good time to like launch the token. So Cito, I really like what you were talking about when it comes to timing the narrative. Like we believe 2022 was also a bit late for the NFT narrative, like just the NFT narrative. It's not about NFTs anymore, like artwork style NFTs anymore. Of course, they drive, activity that represents culture, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, NFTs were more than that. People were exploring. We already have Uniswap, LPv3 NFTs, LP NFTs, and so on and so forth being utilized in DeFi. This was when we wanted to like go ahead with the technical launch, and for that we did not have to time the economic launch, which is when the FLIX token would be like, right? So that was how we started off, and we timed our launch. Although we were ready a bit even before, we did not like want to go ahead, go live like half cooked or half baked. Went ahead like when we were fully confident with the entire technical launch, and like continued that info. So started off with media. Now we are, of course, like with events. You've seen what we were working with last year. Worked on TEDx, a TEDx event where almost 25% of the people that attended the event, they've heard of blockchain. They do not have an account, no MetaMask. They haven't ever gotten an NFT. Right, the max was a centralized exchange. So those were the types of people that we were onboarded as well. So pure Web2 people being able to like utilize Web3 infrastructure. So if you ask me the vision, yeah, manage, distribute, and monetize, but also like being able to utilize this infrastructure in other verticals more than media. Cito, no audio. I think you're muted. Can anyone else hear Cito?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loud and clear.
I think my battery went off actually from my wireless microphone. But yeah, so anyway, since you mentioned Cosmoverse, I was going to say that. Okay. Since you mentioned Cosmoverse, so for those that don't know, OmniFlix has actually been a close partner of Cosmoverse since Lisbon, right? So late 2021, in November, we did the first Cosmoverse, and you guys back then helped a lot with making the live stream, making sure that at the event itself, all the animations between when the speakers come on stage and go on and off, I was like, holy shit, these guys are pros. Like, your stuff. And like when you're in crypto, like normally you don't meet people that know exactly what they're doing from their field in terms of like Web2 background, right? You have a lot of people that are discovering new things, but you guys come from that field, right? The media field, entertainment field. I think, Daya, you mentioned earlier that you have a strong background there. You also had a company there. So I think Cosmos 1 was cool in terms of what, also getting to know each other and everything. But Cosmos 2, you guys killed it. Like, that was insane. If you go watch on my YouTube channel, you can actually watch it, like the live stream of Cosmoverse Medellin. That was a professional production, right? That was amazing. And also, you guys built an entire ticketing platform from scratch for Cosmoverse. This year, we also have this and many more things in the works. But yeah, I think it's just important for everybody to know that, OmniFlix, you guys have been doing a lot of things throughout the 2 years that we've met, that go beyond of just building out OmniFlix, but also to like partner up with players in the ecosystem, whether that's a crypto project or a conference or an event, right? So I really appreciate that, and look forward to work with you guys on that for many more Cosmoverses to come, hopefully. There's also people saying Cosmos 2021 attendees NFTs were dropped, and there will be an airdrop. So what is that about?
Yeah, like we wanted to like make sure that everyone that interacted with the OmniFlix tech, they were, or with OmniFlix in general, they were incentivized, they were part of our journey, and Flix token is one way where we should be able to like get them to be a part of the ecosystem. And 2021 attendees also, like whoever interacted with the tech, that we worked on as OmniFlix, they received NFTs. 2022 people that, anyone that claimed their 2022 POAP NFTs, pattern NFTs, they too received an NFT. So all of this is, just being part of the ecosystem. In 2021, we launched what is 2 apps that we believe are like, wildly successful right now. One is the interactive video publishing platform, right? Which is where you can, interact with videos. There is a video that's playing at a certain timestamp. You should be able to pop a question. based on the user's interaction, that can be recorded like a survey, poll, quiz, or based on the user's interaction, the storyline can be defined. So the next step, or the next scene, is defined based on the option that the user selects. And this is used in a very different way when it works with crypto or Web3, because you already have the blockchain account, and there is a very high chance that people would already hold NFTs, already hold assets. And based on the persona of that account, you should be able to personalize content. You should be able to deliver the right content to the right person. So if they are a super user with, say, 100 atoms staked and LPing on Osmosis and so on and so forth, the type of interaction is different. If there's someone that has like no atom, just explode Cosmos, like no transaction history on any chain, they're shown a different interaction, they're shown different content. So this is like something that we launched on the day of the Osmosis blockchain, June 20th, 2021. And since then we've had like 10 million interactions. So each video is like one video. You might have like one video with, say, X number of interactions, 10 interactions, and if 10 people participate, that is 100 interactions. So like that, we've had 10 million interactions. I'll say about 20-30%, 25-30% were like, say, spam, botted, and so on and so forth, but 6 to 7 million interactions easy. And that is like, and that is one of our least focused apps. In 2022 we were always like focused on the blockchain, the marketplace, everything else other than OmniFlix TV. And some of our teammates also like keep pushing us to prioritize OmniFlix TV even more. And we have what is like a V2 also in the work. So that is one, and InSync is another. The Juno staking dashboard, Comdex, the Chihuahua staking dashboard, and that has been like forked by multiple chains for the testnets, for the devnets, mainnets. Even now, like with Fetch, Comdex, we also have checked Chihuahua. All of these use it as the primary staking dashboard, and we are very happy to be a part of the ecosystem, contributing whether or not there's a token.
Yeah, and people are also saying that you gave the most passionate presentation last year at Cosmoverse. I can agree to that, even though you went heavily over time. I think it was like you had 20 minutes, and I think you went for like 38 minutes or something.
Correct. But, we couldn't refrain ourselves from.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, it was nice. It also got a bit emotional in the end. Also, I came on stage then, right? In the end.
Yes. It has been a very emotional and very fun Cosmoverse for us, because the first one we missed, though we did it from India, we planned everything around content and things like this. We kind of FOMO, we got very much FOMO. So
I know.
The last year we made sure that any of us that would be willing to be there, almost we made sure to be there, and we covered almost, as you could see, like Chetan covering the content, the overall AVs, all the plans, and the live stream on back end, where team from India has been making sure to that everything runs in and as expected. But we were very fortunate that not even a second and not even a single glitch hindered. And we were skeptical because we did a lot of events in the past. Like we did almost 500 plus events while working at the media org, but we almost right 70% of the time had problems. So it is almost that you take it granted that media events generally have some technical glitch, but otherwise Cosmoverse very flawlessly went ahead, and we were even we were shocked. Nothing could stop us, and the energy, the vibe, everything around the presentations, the booths, the party.
Yeah. That was amazing. Like I remember, like when we met in the lobby in the hotel after you guys flew in for like 30 plus hours with like 2 or 3 layovers. Yeah. Luckily, this year we won't have that problem. This year in Istanbul, it's much closer for you, also time zone wise, to coordinate things. There's a lot of people now. Of course, everybody wants to know about the airdrop. We're gonna get to this in a second. But I remember at Cosmoverse also you announced, or you shared a little bit about an Interchain Media DAO, right? So I think that's a very cool idea for Cosmos specifically, because we have this network of sovereign chains, right? Which means we have sovereign communities within Cosmos, right? I think we're all somehow united that, like, IBC is a solution for interoperability, but still you have a lot of camps, right? You have the Osmosis camp, the Atom camp, the Juno camp. Sometimes there's drama between those, right? So talk to me a little bit about the Interchain Media DAO idea, and what's the state of that project?
Yeah, yes, we did plan to work with like multiple teams. We put together, there is like a close group as well right now. Of course, due to lack of time on our front as well, we were not able to push that forward. But we have had agreements, like not agreements, like we had verbal conversations with creators, with like yourself. We had DeFi times. We have had multiple people, including the teams that are like projects that wanted to utilize the infrastructure around media. So what do we mean by that? So the Interchain Media DAO is is a collective. It's a DAO. It's a collective to bring together the people that help increase awareness, that help spread the right word, the right message in the right context, right? Like no miscommunication, misinterpretation, and all that. So for that reason, we wanted to have the developers on board. We wanted to have project team members, representing projects on board. We wanted to have people that were creating content on board, people that were able to create content, that are able to create content, and not just videos, but also like audio, Twitter Spaces, threads, blog articles. All of these guys like put together as a collective, representing, trying to spread the word of the Interchain ecosystem as a whole, right? Here we are looking at the Interchain ecosystem because anyone that utilizes IBC is part of this ecosystem. Not Cosmos SDK, not Cosmos Hub. Like they're all like parts, moving parts. Tendermint, yes. Comet BFT, yes. IBC is the game, right? And that is what connects Interchain, as a whole. And anyone that's utilizing IBC, they can be in any ecosystem, but they are all like part of the same network of networks, where we can all like leverage off of that, or they can leverage us, and so on, so forth. So Interchain Media DAO at this point in time, unfortunately, it has not like progressed the way we wanted it to. But at the same time, around December, January, we had quite a lot of discussion. People were seeing the clear need of that, and after the FLIX token launch, we are sure to be able to invest more time and effort to take that forward.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what we talked about earlier in terms of timing the narrative, right? And also having market demand. I know everybody says in Cosmos, like, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. But then nobody takes the lead, right? And you need somebody to take the lead on a project. And frankly, I think what you guys are doing, I don't even know how you guys manage your time, because you're doing a lot of things. But it's all always connected to energy, time, efforts, resources that need to go into such projects. But I think the fact that we already have the idea out there, that we have the first blueprint and rough outline of such an Interchain Media DAO, I think that's very good to have. And when the time comes, I think it will definitely have a place in Cosmos. And I think it has strong product market fit, but maybe right now the market is not in the right phase. But
Actually,
let me
just a small point. Sorry, like just a small
yeah
point.
no yeah I think like we could go and talk about these things for hours. But you were sharing your screen. I think, should I share that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the Interchain Media DAO, like there was like a small thing that turned out against us, if I can say that. The thing was that like we wanted to like go ahead with community spend proposals or community bull proposals. And after maybe December 2022, you know, people felt that the community pools were like abused. And yeah, there were like a lot of proposals that that might or might not benefit the community without clear ROI and so on and so forth. So we took that back step and like focused on what is OmniFlix, like whatever we were building, to make sure that we had like the initial bootstrapping efforts from our end, and then like demonstrate the model to multiple other teams, multiple other chains, individuals, and then like take it forward the right way. So that was like one that was like a caveat that we had. And that didn't go well for us, because like the model we thought of initially was not something that we could implement right away. Yeah. All right, so Cito, I'll actually quickly run through the products that we have. And show what is coming up for OmniFlix and then move on to the tokenomics and StreamSwap. Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have here? This is the OmniFlix market. So you should be able to see all the collections that OmniFlix has, all the NFTs. You can see like multiple types of collections here. Like this is the collections page, and here you can see, yeah. I'll just quickly run through the first row, and you'll understand. So these two, the first and last collections, are by the same creator, Blockbuster Bunny Club, and they're part of the Cosmos ecosystem via Stargaze. Then we have stories within by Pega and Tangled. Pega is a Tezos creator and Tangled is an OmniFlix native. Then we have what is the Omni Championship, and this is by a creator that has his DAO on the Juno ecosystem, like DAO in the Juno network, right? And they went ahead and created NFTs for a game that was created. So this is a game that if you can see Cito, you can see Liam's name here, Omni Warrior Liam, right? So this was a competition, a trading card game between Liam and someone called the General, who eventually went ahead and won the competition. So this is the fifth tournament for the IBC game trading card. That is IBC game is the name of the game, Interplanetary Battle Cards, and they hosted like 5 tournaments. This being the fifth one, and here you had multiple strategists participate, and this was a collection where people bet on it. So this is and Rack FM. I mean, I'm sure like most in the Cosmos ecosystem, in some or the other way, have heard of the Racks, Rack FM, Robo, and the others, and these are like 345 soulbound NFTs, that were dropped. So the first row itself is like extremely diverse, as you can see. And, we have a lot of stories like that, but, that's for another day. And you can always hang out in the Discord and the Telegram to know more about the creators. So these are the ways in which we onboarded people. And if you observe, it's not a lot of PFP collections. Of course, we have tardigrades, we have, metafellas, we have Owleys and multiple other PFP based collections as well. But you can see photography based collections, one of ones, and community based NFTs being, or the infrastructure around OmniFlix is being used by multiple communities, right? And we also have on the market a fixed price listing as well as auctions, that people can like take live or like place bids on, again in multiple tokens. All they'll have to do is connect their account, claim the fee grant, and using any IBC token, they should be able to like go ahead and interact with the network. So this is the market. To create, for creators, we have what is the OmniFlix Studio. Again, it is an extremely simple no-code interface. You can check it out on app.omniflix studio. Won't be showing the entire interface, but you should, after the Flix token launch, anyone can go ahead and create water collections, create mint water NFTs, and so on and so forth. So this is, again, extremely simple. You got to create your collection. There's a UI for collection creation. Should be able to go ahead, upload your assets, right? And then, view what are non-minted assets. This is also a feature that is probably very rare in the Web3 space, or management interfaces like these, where before minting an NFT is also when you can manage your asset, the metadata, the media file, all of it, and it is stored in an IPFS cluster that is completely powered by OmniFlix. So this is our IPFS, and if you can look at it, you can see how fast everything loads. So this is a private gateway, and you should be in a position to utilize this as a creator by paying in Flix. So this is one of the other token utilities as well, apart from voting bot delegation, apart from staking, apart from gas fees, apart from say fees for collection creation. You also have what is the payment infrastructure marketplace, where people can go ahead, run their nodes on say Akash, provide storage or provide delivery to the, or compute services to the OmniFlix network, and then receive payment in Flix. So all of this is possible right now. Some of this is centralized, some of this is decentralized. The asset management part before minting is like a bit centralized, if you can say that, because we'll have to connect your media file and the account. But the parts where you mint, tokenize, and list, they're all, of course, decentralized. So if this is Studio, we have what is OmniFlix TV. Again, on OmniFlix TV, this is a publishing platform Cito, I was talking about this earlier, where you have interactive videos, that can go live. So let me see if this is, yeah. Here you can connect with what is Kepler and MetaMask. Let me go ahead, Kepler, here, OmniFlix, and I think I already participated in this. I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, my account has already participated in this video. I'll go to a different one. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here it is. So this is being utilized by multiple communities where they end up creating these interactive videos with a question, a secret word, and then ask their audience to like actually go ahead and answer the secret word. So here you can see what is a white dot. This is where you have interactions that will pop up. So let me go ahead and play this. Yeah, here you can see a question, you can see the time running, choose the secret word. I do not know, but my best guess is that it'll be StreamSwap, and I'll submit it. And you can see GXGT, my account, with one interaction. So this is a simple interactive video, can be used for surveys, quiz, again, based on the option. The storyline should be, popped up. And here you have like about 1,230 people that participated. We do not know if they all got their question right or wrong, but they're definitely, they went ahead and participated. And if this is OmniFlix TV's alpha version launched in 2021 June, we have what is OmniFlix TV V1 coming up, where you will have the option to publish content directly, right? Using OmniFlix Studio, you should be able to publish it to TV. As an NFT, people can collect videos or assets, music, right? You should be able to go ahead and access content for free, right? You should be able to like mint NFTs for free, and participate in interactive videos. Of course, you should also be able to access what are live streams, and these are again free to watch, pay to watch, token gated streams, fungible or non fungible token gated, and pay as you go models. So all of these models will be introduced one by one in the OmniFlix V2 or V1 interface. And here you can see token gated or token protected content. You should have an avenue for creators to publish their content, like curate all their content. Creators in here don't just mean like independent creators, but you can also have projects like say Akash Network that utilized I'll say a fork of the OmniFlix interface, OmniFlix TV interface, and we built what is the academy for the Akash network. So here you have the Akash EDU and the entire Akash EDU program. The course itself is running on completely powered by OmniFlix. So here in my account, you should be able to see the course access NFT. I have a course access NFT, and should be able to go ahead and access this course, this video, just because I have that NFT, right? And again, this is powered by OmniFlix infrastructure for publishing. You should be able to like go ahead and publish not only media like videos. You should also be able to publish quiz, which is again an interactive video that like the one that we saw earlier. And if they get like 90% or over, they can claim an NFT. I didn't complete the course, I didn't get 90%, so I don't have the certificate NFT in my account, but otherwise I would have had the course completion NFT as well. So all of this put together is creating this sovereign publishing platform for communities. This is creating this infrastructure for community generated content. So eventually, not just like an individual or an organization, but a DAO or a collective of people should be able to curate content completely. So this is, I'll stop here, Cito. Any thoughts, any comments, questions?
No, I think it's amazing. Like, thanks for sharing that. I think seeing things is always better than just listening to theory, right? But it looks like, so from my understanding, like the end goal is basically to build the infrastructure for content creators, whether that's a YouTuber like me, or whether that's somebody that just likes to tweet things, written content, or even interactive stuff like you showed with the quiz or videos and all these courses, that they can just go ahead and build this stuff based on their needs on OmniFlix, but with their own flavor, with their own branding, with their own economic model also, right? Whether it's paid, whether it's free, whether there's some sort of royalties, or gatekeeping through making having people get an NFT that gives access to that platform. Is that right? So that you just build the infrastructure, you don't build the product itself, but you want to build this infrastructure that makes it easier for any sort of content creator, or like creator, not content, but like creator in general, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
one point I'll add here, Cito. So the one thing you could look at here is like you might have seen OpenSeas and marketplaces like these. One thing that just happens there is just buy and sell. But actually, what happens with media is there is a lot of a consumption and things around media that could happen after you buy and sell. So actually, you can monetize it. You can distribute it to wide audience where it makes sure to reach correct people at the same time. Gets attention that it requires, or it might have. So we made sure that when Abhishek said manage, monetize, and distribute, right? So this is a life cycle of content, and this life cycle makes sure that anything we produce is neatly promoted and at the same time neatly distributed to make sure that you have a revenue and you have all of these tied in together. So that's why there is this community-driven approach that we've been doing. We've been envisioning this since day one of OmniFlix, has seen the idea that has sprung up. So yeah, that's why we've been building all of these ancillary tools where creators and networks or anyone in general who is willing to educate or promote or distribute can make sure to use these tools without any restriction on using FLIX or any of these tokens. Once FLIX goes public, we'll definitely have a certain commission or fees that will be part of the utility, and at the same time they could use it without just FLIX but multi-token, as it happens right now with marketplace.
And in true OmniFlix fashion, you guys also decided to take it into your own hands when it comes to launching the FLIX token, which is, I think, why a lot of people are watching this now, because there's an airdrop on the horizon, 9 days away. So talk to us a little bit about StreamSwap, what that is, how that works, and how FLIX will be rolled out on that.
Sure. Cito, just to correct you, we do not have the airdrop in 9 days. That'll be a bit later, but we have the token launch in 9 days. Yes.
All right.
Right. Like, there were a lot of people, a lot of questions around that as well. So, Cito, if my screen can be brought up. Yeah. As Dai also mentioned earlier, and like you said, we took it into our own hands. It happened, destiny hit us, all these things put together, right? There was a space in April, and this was updates from the lab, Osmosis updates from the lab. And that was when we had a word with Sunny. Like I asked, like when at BPV2, Sunny said, things have started, you should be able to like work and contribute on the UI and multiple other things, and let's collaborate. Once that happened, we were exposed to what was like a very initial version, a Golang module of what is StreamSwap today. So let me go ahead and okay, Cito, tokenomics or StreamSwap? What do you want to do, sir?
Let's use StreamSwap first and then tokenomics.
Okay, sure. So let's go ahead to StreamSwap. And now what is StreamSwap? Okay, I just refreshed the page. So what is StreamSwap? So StreamSwap is for time-based token swaps, right? And what do we mean by that? Right now on Osmosis, on Uniswap, you see what are instant swaps, right? You take X token, you get Y token instantly, right? But with StreamSwap, what happens is this is a new primitive, new way in which like swapping happens. They happen over a period of time. They don't happen instantly, right? So your swap that you want to like go ahead engage with X to Y token, that happens over a period of time. Now, how does this happen, right? So there is like let me go ahead, run through like a sample stream that is created. So here you can see say stream 132, right? And this is how you should read it. So there is a stream that is created by locking the FLIX token and accepting Osmo, right? So someone logged FLIX tokens to swap them with Osmo. So for Osmo, and have the entire stream, set with a duration of 14 minutes. So here you have 100 flicks logged, as part of the stream, to be swapped with Osmo over a period of 14 minutes. Now, here, if you observe, this is not like a liquidity pool. This is not like an LP and AMM pool. You do not have to add the token on the other side. There is no collateral token being added for someone that's creating a stream. Okay, let's call them a streamer, right? Someone that's creating a stream is a streamer, and a streamer can go ahead, use one token, lock it up, set a duration, and start. Now, what happens? What is the actual mechanism or process? Let's go to a stream that has been created but is in the bootstrapping phase. Okay, I'll explain what this means in a bit. So, here, what has happened is there are tokens that are logged, and let's just say today we create the stream, but it actually starts tomorrow, right? So the time between now and start time is the bootstrapping phase, where people can just subscribe to the stream by depositing tokens, or subscribing with tokens. Now the thing here is that you should be in a position to not just like say subscribe to a stream, like just deposit and like forget, but you should also be able to withdraw. So you have the freedom to exit as well in being able to withdraw, right? And your freedom to exit doesn't hurt others. You don't sell something, you don't dump anything. Your freedom to exit is you withdrawing your token, right? These are like the fundamental principles behind which say StreamSwap is built. And once tokens are logged, the FLIX tokens that you see here, they're logged. That's about it. You won't be in a position to be able to like unlock them, like add more tokens, withdraw more tokens. So a streamer that's creating a stream locks their tokens, and that's about it, right? Even if there is like one Osmo on the other side, right? The person that deposits one Osmo gets all 100 clicks, right? In this example. So that is how, the bootstrapping phase works, where people can subscribe by depositing and withdrawing their tokens. And for depositing, they should be able to get their shares, and they should be in a position to, okay, let me go ahead and show you what is a stream that's in the streaming phase, right?
11.
Disconnect. Yeah, there you had something.
No, I'm just looking at smallish.
Yeah. Yeah, Cito, any thoughts, questions up until here?
Yeah, I'm getting wrecked a little bit with my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Okay. No, I just to summarize so far, StreamSwap is basically the evolution of what we've seen traditionally with LBPs, right? On Osmosis itself, for example, we had liquidity bootstrapping protocols where I think Region was one of them, Stars was, I think, one of them, where you have a pool where you put in.
Yeah.
And then people, aka, people that want to buy the token, investors, they could also put in do it vice versa, right? And basically cause this extreme volatility, which we've seen over and over for these LBPs, right? So from my understanding, StreamSwap, like the main goal for StreamSwap is to mitigate a little bit of this volatility, because there's no two assets in the pool, there's just one asset, and people can basically say, hey, I want to put in 100 Osmo into this pool, I want to stream to that asset to get FLIX in that case. And then what it will do in the back end during the duration of my assets being bonded or streamed to this pool or to this token, it will constantly basically DCA, right? Or how does that work? And also another question to that, how is the price like determined and at what rate? Is it like every second, or how does it readjust itself? Because I think it still constantly like fluctuates, right? Depending on how much is streamed to that pool.
Yeah, that's it. That you want to go?
No.
Okay. So yeah, like Cito, we went ahead and talked about the bootstrapping phase where people could just deposit, right? And as you rightly said, this is a community-driven token launch mechanism or protocol. That's how we are using this for right now. And LBPs have like multiple disadvantages inherently, where you need a collateral token. You have, like you have what is MEV, you have what is like a reverse Dutch auction, which is working against investors, like continuously reducing price. And and your freedom to exit is in you dumping the token right into the LBP,
Yeah.
which is when you're combining the primary and secondary market. Like if you take the example of an NFT launchpad, you don't you mint in the launchpad, you don't sell back into the launchpad, you go to the marketplace and list your NFT. So that is when your primary and secondary markets are like split, they're independent. But when it comes to LBPs, they were the same, right? And people dumped into the LBP, bought and sold into the LBP, and that was their version of freedom to exit, right? But you have a choice. You don't need to design the protocol like that. Considering that, right? When we looked at the bootstrapping phase, people could like go ahead, deposit, subscribe to the stream with their tokens, and they would be in a position to get shares. But now what we did is we are in a streaming phase where I just like during the stream went ahead and deposited 100 Osmo. And if you can see, my spent Osmo are increasing with every passing second. And during the streaming phase is when you have the swapping happening through the mechanism of streaming. And this streaming happens every second. So if there are like a million flicks, right, that are logged, you have and you have a duration, a duration of say 10 hours. Your 1 million flicks, because they cannot be added or removed, they're logged. They stream at a constant rate of 100k tokens per hour. So 1 million by 10 gives you 100k tokens per hour. On the other side, if you have like say 1000 people depositing like 1000 Osmo each, you have a million Osmo. And you have like someone that deposited or subscribed with 1000 Osmo. Now their Osmo are not spent at the same time, right? So their Osmo, their 1000 Osmo are spent at a rate of 100 Osmo per hour. So every hour, like after the third hour, they would have spent 300 Osmo. After the seventh hour, they would have spent 700 Osmo. And only after the 10th hour is when they would have like spent all 1000 Osmo of theirs. So this way, even if you want to like spend all 1000 Osmo in the first hour, if you want to do that, you got to come down with like 10,000 Osmo and then spend 1000 Osmo in the first hour. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that. So this way, we are making sure that even if there is an economic attack vector that that might want to be like someone wants to go ahead with an economic attack, it might not be possible unless they have like a lot of capital, right? So that also reduces the concept of MEV, where people like front run others and so on and so forth. But in a 10-hour stream, how can you like front run anyone? Like you'll get a spike, but that's about it. So these are some of the ways in which the protocol itself is like making sure that the attack vectors are being like minimized. So again, to summarize, in the streaming phase, your tokens are like subscribers tokens are spent constantly every second, and that's why you see what is like a spent token, spent amount being increased and unspent decrease. And these represent your shares here. So I have 104 shares out of 2000 2.08, and these are the total shares. So you have people that deposited like X Osmo that led to like 2000 shares. And here at this point in time, the current price is like one Flix is 20.82 Osmo, like on the beta tested. This will be great. But at the same time, people can go ahead and not only like subscribe, but they can also withdraw. They can withdraw like a partial amount, whatever they might want to. And redeem Flix is not active. Although I have like 0.2 Flix allocated, redeem is not active because all your tokens are spent only at the end of the stream. That's when you should be able to redeem. And the price of the Flix token in this case is determined by the final number of tokens that are received at the end of the stream. So final price of 1 million Flix is determined by the total Osmo that are received at the end of the stream. So if you receive 1 million Osmo, one Flix is one Osmo. If you receive like 2 million, one Flix is two Osmo, and so on and so forth. So this is something that we have built, of course, multiple iterations, conversations, multiple team members, Osmosis team, Deus Labs, or Orkun and team, Orkun, Adnan, Sarkan, like all of them, including the Flix crew. We've had like quite the support. Osmosis, we have had, of course, Sunny and Josh and the others, and Osmosis team members, also like supporting along with independent contributors. And that is what like made this happen. So StreamSwap protocol is a set of smart contracts that will be live on Osmosis after governance. We have the Commonwealth draft also in place, and these smart contracts, lead to what are time-based token swaps. And just to I'll share a bit more about the future of StreamSwap, but Cito, I'll stop
But
here.
that is so that's basically smart contracts on Osmosis, right?
Yeah,
StreamSwap.
yeah,
And do I also see my like the current price or like the current ratio, like because I see people already like they're getting a little bit confused because obviously there's something brand new. So I think if you've never done it and maybe spend some time on the platform to get familiar with it. But let's say Flix goes live 9 days from now. I want to get some Flix. I
yeah,
want to make sure that I get a good deal though. Like,
yeah.
do I see the current ratio and like can I see at one glance like what's the current price and
Yeah.
when do I get in or okay.
Yeah, you should see
Okay.
the current price over here. And you should, we are also adding ways where you should be able to see your average price, and the other details that will
Yeah.
help you like take a decision. So what is like one action that someone needs to take? They can come down, subscribe during the bootstrapping phase, and in some sense like forget that they subscribe, because at the end of the stream they'll get their flicks. But of course, if you want to like actively manage your position, right, you should be able to like subscribe during the bootstrapping or the streaming phase, and you should be able to withdraw when you think the price is right. But what you miss there is people get flicks streamed to them every second. Every share gets flicks streamed because of the share every second. So if you deposit or subscribe with Osmo, you get shares, and based on your shares, you get flicks every second. So if you do not subscribe for a few seconds, you do miss that flicks anyways. So and your average price goes high, right? So
Mm.
this is because you're dollar cost averaging, right? If you have like allocated capital ready, and if you're actively managing, you should be able to withdraw whenever you want. But if you don't want to take the stress of being able to go through that, just like subscribe and make sure that your capital is spent every second. That is the model in which you can like participate and take advantage. Yeah.
Why did you chose to like enable people to withdraw or to like redeem their Osmo in that case that they want to stream? Say for example, if I have 100 Osmo, I click on subscribe.
Yeah.
I have the chance to like after 2 hours, if 200 or 20 Osmo are spent, to
Yeah.
get my 80 Osmo out, even though I clicked on subscribe, right?
Yeah, you have the
Why,
option.
why that instead of saying if you're subscribing, it's a lock until the end? Because I think that would mitigate it more, even the price volatility, right? But I'm sure you have thought
Yeah, I
this
mean,
through.
you should like look at it like this. Us being community driven, us being completely, this is a freedom again that the community has, to be able to exit. And as Balaji Srinivasan rightly puts, freedom to exit is something that that is deserved. That a user, that citizen deserves, wherever they are, wherever they're participating. And if you do not have the freedom to exit, that in itself is like like
Not a freedom.
limiting. Yeah, right.
It's
So
not freedom until unless you are able to exit. There is no freedom to you actually. That's what Balaji means.
yeah, right.
I understand, but I think in that case, like it's been your personal choice to like participate in something, right?
True.
So
Right.
in that case, I think for also if we for the sake of like I think that would even stabilize more the price and get people more incentivized to really think about whether they want to stream and like if they're committed, right? But I think it all has trade-offs, like I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, also in terms of like bootstrapping the initial user base and all these kind of things. But yeah, I think it will be interesting to see like after the first launches, token launches, a graph of for a duration. I don't know what you're planning. We can go into that, like for Flix specifically, what your plans are, how much of the supply goes into StreamSwap to
Yeah.
Bootstrap, what's the duration. But it will be interesting to see like what's the user behavior, right? Are they all aping in the beginning and then quickly pull out because they see everybody's FOMOing in, or yeah, because I see a lot of people are, I think they want to understand and like maximize their value that they're getting, right? To have the lowest entry for FLIX. So I think it will be an interesting experiment in 9 days. But yeah, maybe we can talk about that. And also, I know you want to talk a little bit about the long-term vision for StreamSwap. Like, first of all, what's the specific plans for FLIX? And then second, you can talk a little bit about, is that something that other tokens can just do and like launch their own liquidity or like launch their own token with it, or how does that work long term?
Yeah, I mean, for the FLIX token, right? Like people don't have to wait for 9 days. StreamSwap is live now, and there will be an incentivized testnet, or there'll be a testnet with a trading competition where your objective will be to earn the most number of FLIX, right? And based on that, there will be a proportionate, reward in main Netflix as well. So this way, people can get used to how StreamSwap works in that real environment with multiple other strategists or people that are participating. And this will be a competition over a period of 3 days. Details of the competition, we'll share like real soon, like in the next 1-2 days. But this is before the 20th of April, right? And before 420, and people should be able to understand how StreamSwap as a whole works. And we also have the ability, powered by Squid and Axlar, the ability for tokens from the EVM chains, multiple EVM chains, to also like come down or like get moved, bridged to the Osmosis blockchain, and they'll be deposited in USDC. But people can convert USDC on Osmosis Axlar USDC to Osmo token and then participate. So this is like one way in which we are enabling access, right? And if you ask me from a FLIX plan standpoint, we have 1.6% of the supply, or 5 million tokens that are allocated towards StreamSwap, but not in the first sale. There'll be multiple other streams. Right? The first stream will be 1 million tokens in Osmo. And details of the stream, like the duration, when does it start, the bootstrapping phase and the streaming phase, we'll share that in in a subsequent article. But this will be like 1 million FLIX that'll be streamed for Osmo, right, on 20th of April. Yeah.
But then there will be more pool or more ways to stream later on, right?
Yeah, more streams, and we believe this is a way for even OTC deals to happen. Let me take a quick look at, someone created a Juno Osmo pool, right? Like just take a look at the graph. Started off at like 35 Osmo and then like went up. And if we do not give people the freedom to exit, the price only goes up. There's no going down. Right. So, here, because this was testnet, I think people were careless. But of course, right, like if there is a token that's live, the best part is that even while our discussions with Sunny, we realized that even if the token is live, you can still go ahead with the stream, and this can be utilized primarily for, I'll say, high value or high volume ODC deals, because you can't like dump tokens in an AMM pool that'll affect everyone involved. You can't like go ahead and engage in an ODC deal without like actually attracting attention, right? So all of this put together, right, we believe that StreamSwap's future lies at every stage of the fundraising life cycle. And our conversations with multiple others, including yourself, Liam, there was this model where you can like raise, with IOUs. Before, Liam was like very, very I'll say enthusiastic about this idea, where you can like raise with IOUs and then launch your token launch where you discover the price, right? Again, both using StreamSwap, and then like engage in ODC deals or like further fundraise using StreamSwap. So every life stage of the life cycle, fundraising life cycle, StreamSwap can help you, right? So this is time-based token swaps, not just for like a token launch, community-driven token launch, but also for like multiple other life cycles and high-value swaps, I'll say. And this can enable people to participate, utilize StreamSwap to swap tokens and also like acquire tokens, so they can arbitrage between an AMM pool and a StreamSwap stream when the time is right. And then you have like multiple smart contract automations that are possible. So all of this, we aim to build this like much more. And right now, FLIX are logged. You see what is like a constant rate of emission. Every hour 100k FLIX, if it's million FLIX. But you can also have like curves. Every second, every hour, you can have what is like an incline and a decline curve. So every hour you can stream like a higher number of flicks initially, if you want to like attract people to ape in initially. If you want to like get them to stay longer, you can like have incentives at the end, or distribute a lot more later. This is not incentives, but the same number of tokens that are being sold, yeah, are being distributed in a different way, right? So with curves. So yeah, right now it is a linear distribution curve. You'll have like incline and decline curves as well. So multiple ways in which the StreamSwap protocol can evolve, and this is right now being worked on as a DAO, as a collective, and that is the future that we see.
Yeah, I think that's very innovative stuff, and very exciting to see how that will play out. Some people are already calling 100 Osmo per Flix. Let's see. But when it comes to the FLIX token launch, so you said 1.6% of the supply is allocated for StreamSwap.
Yes.
Do you also plan to get FLIX on other exchanges? And also, are you in talks with any centralized exchange to get FLIX listed on there, or what are you?
Yeah. First will be the DEXs. First will be Osmosis, then other ecosystem DEXs, and then we'll get ready for a centralized exchange. We are in talks, but no plans this quarter. So we'll most likely like go ahead with it next quarter, and or no plans.
When Binance?
I mean,
Right?
major plan is to just launch StreamSwap and make sure to go with the LP pool thereafter on Osmo.
Right. So
Are
like
you also
yeah.
planning to get on Crescent and like other, like pretty much all the Cosmos DEXs, or?
Yeah, like we'll first like focus building liquidity somewhere, and then like slowly expand. We also like are very excited about liquid LSDs, and multiple other ways in which people can utilize this infrastructure that we already have available, and that is like extremely native to Cosmos. So yeah, we want to like make sure we utilize that, but of course we want to like have liquidity built up at a certain place, because that will then like give people also the advantage to engage, like get their tokens, acquire their tokens initially, and then like utilize them for multiple other reasons.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I think right now also there's there's a lot of excitement, obviously, for people to learn about the FlixDrop and also tokenomics. Maybe we can close it up with that. Do you have also the slide for that, or?
Yeah, like, well,
Yeah, then let's get into that. And
sure.
then in the end, also, like if I see there's some questions, maybe we can get through 2 or 3 questions in the end.
Sure. Like just to add a point, right? Like with StreamSwap, it is not just about like the Flix token. We also have like other projects that are looking to utilize StreamSwap. Of course, this being a brand new protocol, brand new primitive, no one has like ever tried out, even in the Ethereum ecosystem. We want to make sure, like, of course, will, I don't know, like we are pioneers in some way, but if there is a hit, we are also ready to take a hit. We'll see how that goes. And of course, there are projects ready. Everyone's like very excited. The Osmosis team, of course, is supportive of being able to like enable projects also refer to this instead of the LBP. So that has happened. And StreamSwap, again, this is like a DAO, and we'll be sure to expand in a way that makes sense for everyone involved. And this includes the entire interchain ecosystem and beyond, right? So that is our plan with StreamSwap. We want to make sure that this can become a flagship app, not only on Osmosis, but also in the interchain ecosystem as a whole, right? That's why the integration with Squid and Axlar, with EVM tokens. People should not feel that this is Cosmos native, or this is a Cosmos app. They should feel that this is a universal app, this is an interchain app, and can support any token. That is what we want to enable, right? And step by step, one step at a time. Of course, it'll be pretty Cosmos native right now. But Ethereum folks, like we've been pitching to some punks, apes, they're also excited about the protocol. They're excited about what is happening and the way in which Flix is launching. So we are stoked, pretty excited. Of course, we are focused on like building. So that means building OmniFlix. That means building, things like OmniFlix TV, Akash EDU, and StreamSwap. So we want to make sure we like drive value, want to like deliver value, and one step at a time, right? So yeah. All right, like the tokenomics. we have an article published on Mirror, but I'll quickly run through the tokenomics. We have what is like a 1 billion max supply when it comes to the FLIX token, and 30% or 300 million is the Genesis supply, that we're starting off with, and a 70% or 700 million is being distributed via inflation over a period of 7 years with 100 million tokens emitted per year, approximately 100 million tokens emitted per year. So this leads to, like, not only 70% being distributed as for the community. That's how we look at it. But this is also being distributed in a way that makes sense. So the Genesis supply is split between like multiple stakeholders, three parts. Let me go ahead, navigate here. You can see that on your left you have what is the community bootstrapping allocation. This includes the FlixDrop, this includes DAO collabs, incentives for node hosts who supported us without asking for any incentives or without having any incentives over 13 months. Our early contributors that started working with OmniFlix even before OmniFlix was OmniFlix. And then we have our pre and post token launch community activities that we are like engaging in. And this is again, this is primarily for our community building activities, along with LP incentives, primarily to bootstrap liquidity and the community pool allocation. So all of these belong, sum up to about 100, not about, but sum up to 100 million, which is like one third of the Genesis supply. One third of it is managed by the foundation with an allocation for foundation. There is an allocation, or there are two treasuries, treasury 1 and 2, with adoption grants as the first treasury for creators and developers. And then we have a strategic reserve, for DAO to DAO collabs, again, token swaps, and multiple other reasons why, where we can utilize this treasury. And if there is something that treasury 1 and 2 don't cover, the foundation will definitely take care of it for the network. And if this is like 100 million or one third, or the second part, you have the final part split between the team, advisors, and initial fundraise. And of the initial fundraise, is where we are making sure the StreamSwap allocation is also like in place, not from the community bootstrapping pool, but of course, this is something that we've set aside before. And the team includes founders, current team members, future team members, with the highest vesting for the team. Right? So yeah, this is the breakdown of the Genesis supply. And if I move on,
I think it's important to mention, like, this is like I said, the breakdown of the Genesis supply. So based on 300 million out of a billion max supply, so the 700 million, which is the vast majority, is reserved for incentives, I guess, right? For staking incentives, because since OmniFlix is also an app chain, you have your own validator set, which Cito is one of them, one of the validators. But that's basically a security budget, mostly, I guess, for the next 7 years, right? So, yeah,
that's right.
just to clarify that.
Yes. So we have what is the 700 breakdown of the 700 million here. So 60% of that goes towards the security budget, for stakers or delegators. This is 420 million, right? And then we have what 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 are budgets for adoption. This includes the creators, curators, communities, and publishers. Infrastructure budget, for node hosts without in protocol incentivization. This exempts validators but includes relayers. This includes media node hosts like the IPFS infrastructure that you saw, until in protocol incentivization is built. If they have in protocol incentivization, they are exempt from this budget, and they will be in a position to, or we will be in a position to focus our funds on building tooling, building infrastructure enabling services, and easy management services or tools or apps for infrastructure nodes, right? So this is infra budget, and then we have a technical budget for developers, and then there is an allocation for the community pool as well. So this is 40%, and the 60% of it is primarily dedicated for the security budget or for stakers. So the entire breakdown of inflation is done this way because we want to like focus whatever is being emitted onto like certain things that generate ROI for the network. And this ROI is something that we've, and like we mentioned, right, like we've been learning quite a lot from
He froze. Did he freeze? Or is it just on my end?
No, he froze. Yeah.
He doesn't want to say what they learned from, but I think he was gonna say probably is because we see right now across Cosmos, we see a lot of there we go. I think there's a lot of like tokenomics revamps all across Cosmos right now, right? Atom 2.0,
Version
at
tools.
Cosmoverse was proposed, Juno, Osmo 2.0, even Stars. So I guess that's what you wanted to say, Sislauer.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Did you like you were saying that you were learning from, and then you
Yeah.
The
kind of
ecosystem. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, yeah, like we've seen the Ethereum models also. Some of them were good, some of them were like, so bad that because of lack of like a good token economic allocation or token distribution model, their good products didn't scale. We saw that happen. And that was one of the main reasons why we were like we were very conscious. We took a very conscious decision to be able to break it down this way. And of course, like, we really thought, Cosmos models were like great when we saw them in like 2019, 2020. But then when we started like looking at their side effects and how communities reacted to like certain incentives, how incentives weren't aligned the way they were supposed to be. They were incentives, they are there, but they aren't aligned. And because of that, there's like a huge disruption when it comes to the entire like economic activity within the network. So these are ways in which we learned. And I'll say each network being able to like evolve their tokenomics is also a way to express that they care, is also a way to express that they want to fix their economic side of things, even though the tech side of things is like pretty functional, right? So yeah, we believe even we might need to evolve later. We won't think of everything being set in stone, subject to governance. Everything is subject to governance, but at the same time we believe this is a model that will be sustainable. Yeah.
So share more details about the FlixDrop specifically. You said in 9 days we have the token launch, StreamSwap, and all these kind of things, but the airdrop will follow later, or the FlixDrop.
Yeah.
So who is eligible? What are snapshots? How is the airdrop vested, or do we get everything at once? And like, yeah, talk about that.
Sure. So we have a budget of 20% for FlixDrop and DAO collabs. So you'll have like an extreme majority, get dedicated for the FlixDrop. And this includes 18 categories, of people. And here you should be able to like look at FlixNet 1, 2, and 3 validators. You have what are like campaign participants on FlixNet 2, 3, and 4. You have OG collectors that collected NFTs after the OmniFlix blockchain went live. You have our delegators that delegated across various snapshots to the with the OmniFlix validator. You have Cosmos 2021 and 2022 attendees. You have what are stream pay users. That's a different that's a different protocol or module of ours. And you have what are like OmniFlix TV participants, Telegram and Discord OG, or Telegram and Discord token gated holders as well. So all of these categories will receive the Flix drop. You also have Atom stakers. You have Osmosis LPs, some of like, yeah, very few pools, but like select pools, and then Ion holders. So all of these people, if they're eligible based on like certain criteria, they'll receive a majority of this 20%, right? And yeah, the Flix token will launch first. You will have inflation turned on. You will have a few grants given out for people that contributed early on. This is not for specific sets of people, like say team members, or we won't be like staking as such anything. But for voting power balancing, like balancing the voting power, we'll have the foundation tokens being staked. Then there'll be the Flix drop after like a few weeks, and during this phase inflation will be turned on, but the Flix drop won't go live. And after there is a proposal, after the tech behind FlixDrop goes live, you'll have the FlixDrop go live. So how does that work? If you have an NFT that you received on OmniFlix, you should be able to go ahead and, once the mechanism is live, you should be able to burn that NFT for Flix. And these Flix, they get dripped. This is a drip yeah, this is a mechanism that again we learned from the Ethereum ecosystem. We're utilizing what is like what are programmable payments and our stream pay module. And with stream pay, what happens is your tokens get streamed block by block, and with every passing block, you get your tokens accumulating into your account. So here, this is not like vesting. Your liquid tokens get dropped every block, and you should be able to do whatever you want with them. You should be able to go ahead, stake, you should be able to buy NFTs, you should be able to LP, you should be able to swap. Yeah, the freedom is yours. And these happen over a period of days, double digit days. Yeah, we'll share the details of each of these. It might happen over a period of 90 days or lower. That is the alpha that I can share. It won't happen like for quite a long time, but this drip is something that we are making sure we have in place so that people don't like use up all their tokens at the same time for a certain activity. The any pressure whatever exists is like I'll say not mitigated, but that pressure itself is not created because your tokens get streamed over a period of time, right? So yeah, stream pay is what we'll use to
Do you
go
have a
ahead.
breakdown like this, like with the percentages for all the airdrop groups, or not yet?
That's coming soon. We haven't completed our drop by the time our final set of drops were not completed by the time we announced the tokenomics, right? Hence, we wanted to like separate that out and have the FlixDrop article independently with the final details of the allocations and so on.
Yeah, but like StreamSwap, we're developing a drop module as well, so that can be used by our creators and whoever wants to drop NFTs or FTs as in general. So yeah, that's development pipeline as well.
Yeah.
And what about snapshots?
Snapshots, yeah. We have had our snapshots, right at the start of 2022, and then we've had snapshots for delegators in between as well. There was a fourth snapshot around September, October, and then we've also had snapshots. Actually, we've had like you can call this continuous airdrop, Cito, because every month anyone that bought an NFT, they were dropped an OG collector NFT. That was our way of showing gratitude, support, and for their support, they'll eventually get FLIX, right, when it goes live. So they got what are OG collector NFTs. For anyone that interacted with any of our apps, they got their NFTs. Cosmoverse as well, right? So this is the way in which we have had a continuous airdrop mechanism or like continuous FLIX drop to make sure people are inside.
Stream drop.
Stream pay, stream swap, stream drop. Yeah, definitely, right?
But just to, do you have already like clarity on the Cosmoverse drop? Like, how is that done? How much of the airdrop allocation is reserved for the Cosmoverse attendee community?
Yeah.
And for the organizers?
How else can I say? There'll be, I don't want to set high expectations, but there'll be a drop. It won't be a double digit drop. So, yeah, but it'll be in the lower triple digits maybe. But everyone has, let me go ahead and search for the collection. Here you go. Yeah, Cito, like 45 people like claimed their pattern NFTs. So with your shout out, maybe you'll have like more people claim, because we know for a fact that we have almost like 1,500 tickets sold out, and each of them, they have an email, they have access to the portal. Now it is up to them to claim, right? And the higher it is, the better it is. So
yeah, I gotta drop the link to this. Can you send me the link, maybe Daya?
Sure.
I can drop the link so that people can do that. But that's amazing. I think that's the first airdrop for conference attendees in crypto history, maybe. Like where you get an airdrop for attending a conference. Like I know conferences where you go and you get an airdrop for like being there because they want to onboard you, but like the snapshot was basically you coming to Cosmoverse. That's crazy.
That's the snapshot. Yes,
that's nuts.
I mean, definitely, like someone that has invested the time, effort, energy, money to come down all the way somewhere to get involved in the Cosmos ecosystem. That person is a power user. We want to like talk to them, right? Of course, we want to talk to everyone, but if we miss out on those people, I don't know, like, who else are we, even talking to, right? Who else is the community? These are the people, right? And that's why, like, we valued them the most, when it comes to like serving them, if I can say that. And we wanted to like deliver the best of the best experiences, and hopefully we did a good job, and made sure it happened well.
Well, there's people saying, newcomers, and I think especially in the last few weeks we've seen a lot of new people joining Cosmos. So is there any way for them to get an airdrop still, or?
Yeah, the StreamSwap testnet, right? So if you have the StreamSwap testnet that you participate in, you get an equivalent mainnet FLIX. If you understand how to participate in the StreamSwap stream on testnet, your mainnet participation is sorted. And because you get, yeah, as soon as StreamSwap ends, this is not vested. This is not like, private capital that's being raised, vested over a period of a year or whatever. Day one, your tokens are with you. Day one, you have inflation enabled. Day one, you have LPs, you have the pool created. Day one, you have the NFTs that are being listed in. All of these things can be taken advantage of, and like ultra degens can utilize this opportunity to make the most out of it.
Yeah, I will have a long night ahead of me today. Still have to do all of that. But yeah, as we come to an end, I think this was a lot of alpha. So congrats everybody that stayed around to the very end. I know we talked a lot about the product and the technology and everything, and I think that's actually the most important. But obviously, the airdrop is what people are, in the end of the day. We're in crypto, so that's what most people are excited about. But yeah, looking forward to 9 days from now, 8 days, a little bit over 8 days. I guess you guys are not having a lot of sleep these days. I guess you guys are super busy. So what's your near-term roadmap? Like, what is the final things you need to sort out now in the next week? And what's your priority then shortly after FLIX went live?
Yeah, I mean, we have the cost, like Osmosis proposal that'll go live. We have proposals on the OmniFlix blockchain also that are going live, that'll go live. So the proposal on Osmosis is primarily for the StreamSwap contracts to be deployed, and we'll most likely put that up soon. And once they go live, of course, the StreamSwap launch is the priority. And of course, with the StreamSwap launch, we want to like be ready everywhere, right? Like once the token is live, the LPs will be live, the inflation turned on, marketplace has FLIX, collection creation fees implemented, like all of these are done. And we want to like go ahead with our, incentives for liquidity providers as well, liquidity incentives and so on and so forth, to be able to build that liquidity, get people like incentivized early on. And this is like the first step. And once this is done, we will be launching what is OmniFlix TV. I showed a quick preview of what it is, and in depth, we'll probably talk about it later. But yeah, OmniFlix TV is pretty exciting and has not been the focus in the last year. But towards the end of last year, towards the start of this year, we wanted to make sure that is like that goes out live ASAP, and timed it after the token launch. And we have a few other launches as well, like a 2D metaverse world, FlixVerse by Occupy Games. Citadel one, they're a validator of ours. They're developing an interface for OmniFlix market that is pretty sleek, right? And definitely better than what we have right now. It's like fast, like in the ways in which you can interact with that is fast. So that is an alternate UI, that'll go live. And then we have an interface by one of our validators, Prithvi Devs. That is an alternate interface. So multiple other apps that'll go live, multiple other apps as in mobile apps, Unity apps, and so on and so forth that are going live. So our aim is to be able to support all of these. And we also will have the Tangled IBC game, the trading card game, go live sometime soon. And all of these will be ecosystem activities, while also working with our traditional Web2 studios, publishers, to be able to like get them utilize OmniFlix even more. We have like quite a
We
few.
have awesome, and we have licensing, and we have a lot of things planned as well. I think, see, I mean, I don't think we'd be able to cover that in this small thing, but a small
Session.
Session. I would say, there is a lot more coming, and we're looking forward to releasing all of that. We have been thinking forever, so
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to get you guys involved again this year at Cosmoverse. Work has already begun. People seem to be excited about a lot of things. Also, Super Era. I didn't check the numbers, but 6.1 million blocks, 310,000 transactions. Does that sound all right? Without a token even being live. That's indeed very, very nice. Mainnet is live since a year and 2 months, but token launch in 8 days. You heard it here first in terms of still having the chance potentially to get hands on FLIX tokens by interacting with StreamSwap, which we talked about extensively. Try out all the ecosystem applications, OmniFlix TV, the marketplace itself. And yeah, I think so. 2 things for everybody. Number 1, make sure you come to Cosmoverse this year if you want to meet Sisla, Daya, and the rest of the FLIX crew. Number 2, once you get your FLIX tokens, whether that's through the airdrop or whether that's by streaming via StreamSwap, you can delegate them also to stake Cito. Of course, I have to show the validator. You can do that. And yeah, just I think stay up to date. Like I think, again, a lot of people in Cosmos, a lot of builders know you. They know OmniFlix because you've been working with a lot of teams. But I think now it's time also for the rest of the Cosmos community to use the products, become part of the community. You also have this, I think it's a weekly spaces, right, with the FLIX community, which you can join. I think Liam is co-hosting most of these recently. I've seen, I joined some of them. You had one with Ununified DAO recently and many others. So yeah, a lot of things. Tomorrow's next one.
Yeah, tomorrow is the space with Sunny as well, where we'll be discussing a lot more about StreamSwap. And tomorrow is the 64th week of our weekly space. So, you don't need a token to do all these. We have what is 64 weeks of weekly updates. We have creator space, creator focus space on Fridays. Both of these happen at 2 p.m. UTC. And there's in the spotlight, which is like a very person or a community focused space that focuses on one person or one community, and that happens at 5 p.m. EST every Saturday. So these are spaces that we've been engaging in, and consistency is key. And thanks to the FLIX crew and all of you guys for actually inspiring us not to stop, right? I don't think we would have stopped, but seeing all of you keep at it, consistently produce, do your best. This is the least. We felt that this is the least that we can do for our community. A weekly space, 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't think anyone should shy away from that.
Yeah, I think those are very good closing words. The same counts for me. Just for me to always see that people are interested in the content I produce, interested in getting involved into Cosmos, getting started with all these applications and everything. Helped a lot, especially through the craziest year in crypto we ever had, which was last year. A very rough year, but it feels like now a lot of things are coming together, right? Especially within Cosmos. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of new chains going live, and I think it's a good time to be not just in crypto, but especially in Cosmos. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. We went almost 2 hours, 1 hour 40, in true FLIX fashion, heavily over time. But that's right.
Never boring, so for us at least.
No, I think it was all nice. So hopefully there will be recaps on Twitter for those that can't watch the whole thing. Sometimes we'll just make these nice Twitter recaps in form of threads, which is super helpful. But yeah, definitely not exiting times, but exciting times in Cosmos. Yeah, any final words from you guys?
I mean, sorry, Dada first.
Yeah, I think definitely. Looking forward to StreamSwap and the token launch, and as we said, there is bonus as well if you participate in the StreamSwap mainnet. Otherwise, and at the same time for the testnet. So make sure to be there during the bootstrapping phase, because as Abhishek said, it is very important for you to make DCA otherwise, because whatever you put into StreamSwap will be spread out throughout the sale. So if you come in the last 1 minute, you're going to get wrecked. So make sure to come first, early during the sale to make sure to maximize your potential, and at the same time, be throughout the sale to understand the sale, and at the same time, DCA out well. Yeah.
Right. And
Flicks the switch.
yeah, like, a shout out to Jatin as well, coming up with all the memes and the taglines. So yeah, Cito, like, final words. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for making sure you take the time to explain to your community, your audience, and the wider Cosmos ecosystem regarding everything OmniFlix and all that we are doing even beyond OmniFlix. So thank you for that. And of course, if there is anyone that's interested to be involved in the Flix fam, get a hold of the Flix token, understand what is StreamSwap and more about the Flix Osmos stream on the 20th of April or 420, you should be able to like reach out to any of us, the Flix fanatics, our community subDAO on Discord or on Telegram or on Twitter, and we should be there helping you out. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Cito, for having us here, and shout out to Stake Cito as well for making sure you put together all this. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.